until the moment he heard his wife had aborted the child. Did the man realize that his wife had discovered he was keeping a mistress outside? So he quickly tried to stop his wife from leaving. Unexpectedly, the wife slapped him directly. She bluntly told him she wanted to sever all ties with him. Watching his wife leave, the man on the floor cried bitterly. He kept calling her name, but received no response. However, the reason for all of this was that the man brought it upon himself. It turned out that the wife was the man's first love from college. Soon, the two were together. But unexpectedly, the wife had a car accident. It ultimately caused her to lose both her speech and hearing abilities. The doctor told them that recovery would be very difficult. The woman was so scared after hearing this that she didn't know what to do. The man comforted her, telling her that no matter what she became, he would only love her. And so, they walked down the aisle together. After marriage, the woman always thought she was the happiest person. She had no doubts about her husband at all. But what she didn't expect was, her husband had an improper relationship with his secretary, and the secretary boldly called the man husband right in front of the woman. The man looked very nervous after hearing that. The secretary told the man not to worry, since the woman couldn't hear anyway. Despite this, the man was still afraid his wife would notice something was wrong. At this moment, the woman looked confused. She picked up her phone and asked her husband what they were talking about. The husband lied, claiming the secretary was just talking about the woman. The unsuspecting woman quickly typed and thanked the secretary, but the secretary arrogantly said that when she had the man's child, she would need the woman to raise it. At that moment, the woman, who couldn't hear, could only respond with a smile. The secretary mocked the woman, calling her a fool. She then told the man she was going for a prenatal checkup, and that he should come find her later. However, the woman didn't notice anything unusual between them. So, she went to the hospital for rehabilitation treatment. Unexpectedly, the nurse accidentally hit the woman's head with a medical device. Seeing this, the doctor hurriedly went over to check on her. To everyone's surprise, the woman spoke. The doctor was astonished. At that moment, the woman realized that her speech and hearing abilities had fully recovered. She wanted to share this good news with her husband, but the nurse told her that her husband was in the next room. The woman was happy to hear this and went to the next room. But when she reached the door, she saw something unbelievable. It turned out that her husband was inside, flirting with the secretary, and she learned that the secretary was already pregnant with her husband's child. After discovering all of this, the woman couldn't believe her husband would betray her. Seeing how arrogant they were, the woman was furious. She couldn't believe she had been deceived by her husband for 5 years. Furious, the woman pushed the door open and entered. The man, startled, nervously asked the woman why she was there. He explained to his wife that he had just come to check on the sick secretary. He begged her not to misunderstand. The woman couldn't believe her husband would brush her off with such a clumsy excuse. Seeing this, the woman decided to hide the fact that she had recovered. She picked up her phone again to communicate with her husband. After saying this, she turned around and left. On the way, she thought back to her 5 years of marriage and felt utterly disgusted. She found the doctor and decided to abort the child in her womb. The doctor was quite surprised. After all, the woman had